Valentine's Day is a day for celebrating love, and what better way to do that than by exploring some of the greatest love stories in video games. From post-apocalyptic adventures to fantastical role-playing games, the video game industry has given us some truly epic love stories that have touched our heart and left a lasting impression. The Last of Us. The relationship between Joel and Ellie is a central theme in this post-apocalyptic action-adventure. As Joel, a hardened survivor, and Ellie, a young girl, travel across the country in search of safety, they develop a deep bond that is both heart-wrenching and heartwarming. One of the game's most powerful moments is when Joel sacrifices everything to save Ellie, just showing how far he is willing to go for her. A lesser-known fact about the game is that the voice actors Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson had such a great chemistry that they were able to improvise many of their scenes together. Bioshock Infinite. This amazing first-person shooter game features a complex and emotionally charged love story between its main characters, Booker DeWitt and Elizabeth. As they journey through the floating city of Columbia, they come to rely on each other for survival and begin to form a really deep connection. One example of a lovely moment is when Elizabeth opens a tear in reality and shows Booker a glimpse of a world where they are happy together, hinting at the possibility of a brighter future. The initial concept of Elizabeth was actually a traditional damsel in distress, but throughout the development of the game, they decided to make her more active and a more capable character. Final Fantasy VII. This role-playing game features a lovely love story between the main characters Cloud and one of the other playable characters, Tifa. As they work together to save the planet from the evil Shinra Corporation, their relationship blossoms. One of the game's most iconic moments is when Cloud confesses his love for Tifa on the rooftop of their childhood home. In the original Japanese version, Cloud's love confession is much more ambiguous, leaving it up to the player to interpret his feelings. Journey. Most people might not actually think that Journey has a love story in it, but this beautiful art game offers a unique and powerful love story, as the player's only connection to another player is through singing and the player's journey to the top of the mountain. The game's multiplayer aspect allows players to form a bond despite the lack of any verbal communication. It's a really powerful statement on the universality of human emotions. One of the game's most amazing moments has to be when two players finally reach the summit together, symbolising their shared journey and their connection. Did you know that the game's composer, Austin Wintory, composed an entire orchestral score as a tribute to the game and its players? Firewatch. This first-person adventure game deals with lots of different themes of love in isolation, love and self-discovery, and it's all done through the conversation between two Firewatchers, Henry and Delilah. As the player takes on the role of Henry and communicates with Delilah over the radio, their relationship deepens and becomes more complex. One of the game's most powerful moments is when Henry finally sees Delilah face to face and they're forced to confront their feelings for each other. To ensure that there was chemistry between the two characters, the game's developers, Camposanto, used a real-life couple, Rich Sommer and Alejandro Reynosa, who are the voices of Henry and Delilah, in order to make sure that there was that extra layer of realism with the characters' relationship. Dragon Age Origins. This role-playing game allows the player to form relationships with various non-playable characters, and the choices that this player makes in those relationships have a significant impact on the story and in the ending. One of my favourite love stories from this game has to be between the player and the elven mage, Leliana. As the player helps Leliana on her personal quest, she then opens up about her past, and the two of them then starts to form a deep bond. The very forward-thinking developers, BioWare, included a wide range of romance options for the player, including same-sex romance options, in order to make the game more inclusive and to give players the freedom to explore their own romantic preferences. The Walking Dead. Now, you wouldn't expect this one to be on the list, but this graphic adventure series deals with all sorts of themes of love, of sacrifice, and survival in a world overrun by zombies. The player's choice of conversations and relationships that they get into in this game have a significant impact on the story and indeed the ending. But the truly beautiful love story that is in this game has to be the relationship between the player character Lee and Clementine, a young girl that he takes under his protection. As they journey together, they form a deep bond, and their relationship becomes a central theme in the story and makes the game an absolute gem. Mass Effect. This sci-fi action role-playing space opera allows the player to have relationships with all sorts of non-player characters, and all sorts of aliens. The player can choose to have significant relationships or one-night stands. It is an absolute free-for-all in Mass Effect. But if you're looking for love, one of the game's most popular love stories has to be the romance between the player character Shepard and the Asari Liara Tassoni. Their relationship develops over the course of the trilogy, and the player's choices in how they interact with Liara shape the outcome of their relationship. Again, BioWare included lots of romance options in this one, including same sex, same alien, whatever they wanted to add all that diversity and inclusivity into the game. Tales from the Borderlands. This episodic adventure game from Telltale tells the story of two characters, Fiona and Reese, who are on a quest to find a vault, and their stories are interwoven with romance and comedy. Your choices in how you interact with Fiona and Reese end up shaping the outcome of the relationship and ultimately the game. The game's unique blend of humour and romance makes it both memorable and enjoyable, and a damn fine love story. Ollie Ollie Oxenfree. This supernatural thriller adventure allows the player to form relationships with some of the non-playable characters. One of the game's more complex and emotionally charged love stories is a relationship between the player and the best friend Alex. The game's supernatural elements add an extra layer of intrigue and mystery to their relationship, and how you interact with each other ultimately has an impact on the ending. So there you have it, some of the greatest romances in video games. Maybe they weren't the ones you were expecting, perhaps you were expecting more of a Mario and Peach kind of scenario, but I've tried to include both conventional love stories, parental love stories, and poetic love stories, as video games can be a powerful medium for exploring and experiencing love in many different ways. Whether you want to find love in a post-apocalyptic survival or in a crazy fantasy world, these games just offer the players the opportunity to form relationships, make choices, build bonds, and experience the complexity of emotions that love will bring. I hope this video has been enjoyable, useful, and I'll be back with another video very soon.